There was a moment when Monique had everything. In 2010, she stood on Hollywood's biggest stage, holding an Academy Award for her performance in Precious. A role so powerful it cut through everything else. And in that moment, she said something that still echoes today.
First, I would like to thank the Academy for showing that it can be about the performance and not the politics.
She wasn't just winning, she was undeniable. It felt like the beginning of something bigger, a new chapter, a new level, a place where her voice would only grow louder. But here's where the story takes a turn. Because not long after that moment, everything slowed down. The roles became fewer, the visibility faded, and the same industry that once celebrated her seemed to step back. Which leads to the question that still lingers today. What really happened to Monique? Was it Hollywood politics, a refusal to play the game, or a series of choices that came with consequences no one was ready to face? And to understand what that is, you have to go back to the version of Monique long before Hollywood placed its expectations on her. She was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, the youngest of 4 children. Her father, Stephen Imes Jr., worked as a drug counselor, and her mother, Alice Imes, was an engineer. She graduated from Milford Mill High School and later attended Morgan State University. But the real foundation of her story wasn't education. It was experience. In interviews, Monique revealed that she had been sexually abused as a child, something she kept private for years. When she finally shared it, she expected understanding. Instead, in 2010, during the promotion of Precious, her family, including her brother, was invited onto Oprah's show for a televised apology. According to Monique's later interviews, that moment happened without her full consent, leaving her feeling exposed rather than supported. That experience didn't just stay personal. It shaped how she expressed truth, both on stage and on screen. But long before Hollywood gave her a dramatic role, she had already found a way to speak. In 1988, her brother Steve challenged her to try an open mic at the Baltimore Comedy Factory outlet. She went on stage once, and when she finished, the audience stood up, a standing ovation. That moment gave her something clarity couldn't: direction. She left her job at a telecommunications company and committed fully to stand-up comedy. From there, she built her name step by step, performing on Def Comedy Jam, appearing on Showtime at the Apollo, touring as part of the Queens of Comedy. But what made her different wasn't just where she performed. It was how she showed up. She spoke directly, she spoke honestly, and she spoke about things most people avoided: body image, relationships, identity. There was no attempt to soften her voice. That same presence carried into television. In 1999, she starred as Nique Parker in The Parkers, a single mother navigating life with confidence and humor. The show ran for 5 seasons, 1999 to 2004, and earned her 4 NAACP Image Awards, making her one of the most recognizable comedic figures of the early 2000s. But more importantly, it established a pattern. She didn't build her career on being safe. She built it on being bold, unfiltered, emotionally direct, open about body image and identity long before those conversations became mainstream. And that's what makes the next chapter so unexpected. Because based on everything she had shown so far, no one was looking at Monique and thinking, Oscar-winning actress. And that's exactly what she became next. The highest moment of her career was also the beginning of everything changing. In March 2010, Monique stepped onto the Oscar stage in a striking blue gown, holding the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role as Mary Lee Johnston in Precious. It was more than a win. It was history. On March 7th, 2010, at the 82nd Academy Awards, she became only the 2nd Black actress to ever win in that category, following Hattie McDaniel in 1940. And for a moment, everything aligned. The performance was undeniable. Critics from Variety and The Guardian called it one of the most powerful performances of the year. Hollywood, at least on the surface, was fully behind her. The film itself carried major backing. Directed by Lee Daniels and supported by executive producers Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, Precious had the kind of industry support that usually guarantees momentum after an Oscar. And for a brief moment, it looked like that momentum was inevitable. But this is where the story shifts. Because at the exact point when she had the most power, she made a decision that would define everything that followed. After fulfilling her contractual promotional obligations in the United States, Monique was asked to continue promoting the film internationally, including appearances at Cannes and across Europe, without additional pay. Her reported salary for the film had been around $50,000, consistent with its low-budget production of approximately $10 million. And the expectation was clear: do more, promote more, for free. According to reports from industry outlets like The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, she received calls from Lionsgate, along with requests tied to the film's Oscar campaign, including outreach connected to Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. But Monique said no. She chose to stay home with her family. She chose not to extend her work beyond what she had been paid to do. And in that moment, the narrative changed. Because in Hollywood, success doesn't just come with recognition. It comes with expectations, unwritten rules, unspoken agreements, a system that often assumes participation, even when it's not explicitly required. And Monique stepped outside of that system. At the moment she had the most leverage, she set a boundary. She spoke openly about fairness and compensation. She refused to participate in unpaid labor, and she made it clear she wasn't going to play the game. But what felt like a personal decision quickly became something bigger. Because in an industry built on relationships and reciprocity, not playing along doesn't just slow things down. Sometimes, it changes everything. The silence after success wasn't accidental. After her Oscar win in 2010, Monique didn't just slow down. She almost disappeared from major Hollywood films for over a decade. Not because the talent was gone, but because something had shifted behind the scenes. What followed wasn't one single event. It was a chain reaction. One of the most defining moments came from her relationship with Lee Daniels, the director who helped bring Precious to life. Years after the film, in 2015, Daniels called her directly and said something that would shape the narrative around her career. "Monique, you've been blackballed because you didn't play the game." That statement didn't come from rumors. It came from inside the system. The fallout between them traced back to the same moment that defined her stance: her refusal to continue unpaid promotion after the film's release. From there, the relationship broke down completely. They didn't speak for over a decade. Until 2022, when Daniels publicly apologized and the two reconciled, eventually leading to Monique taking a lead role in his upcoming film, The Deliverance, 2024. But the conflict didn't stop there. It expanded, and it became more personal. Monique also publicly called out Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, two of the most powerful figures connected to Precious. She accused them of contributing to her being pushed out of opportunities, describing it as being whiteballed, a term she used to explain how influence can quietly block access in the industry. Her criticism of Oprah ran deeper. It went back to that 2010 interview, according to Monique. That moment happened without her full consent. And years later, in interviews such as Club Shay Shay, she continued to describe it as a betrayal, stating that she is still waiting for a public apology. From the outside, the narrative began to shift, not in her favor, because while she saw herself as standing on principle, the industry began to label her differently. Reports from outlets like The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline reflected a growing perception. She was difficult, hard to work with, making unreasonable demands. So what really happened to Monique? The answer isn't simple. It's not just that she was blackballed, and it's not that Hollywood was entirely wrong either. What happened sits in the tension between two truths. On one side, there's Monique's perspective. She stood up for fair treatment. From her point of view, it wasn't rebellion, it was respect. But on the other side, there's the reality of how Hollywood works. It's an industry built on relationships. There was a choice, and that choice came with a price. But maybe the real question isn't what happened to Monique. Maybe it's this: if success requires you to become someone else, is it still success? Or is your voice the only thing that was ever truly yours to keep?